Assalamualaikum and good evening. Viewers, the mainstream political parties of Pakistan have taken strong exception to Altaf Hussein's demand of a separate province for Urdu-speaking residents of Sindh and declared it a conspiracy towards breaking the country. Altaf Hussein is no stranger to controversies. His telephonic orations delivered from London have touched many a raw nerve in the past, while this is not the first time he has discussed altering Sindh's and Pakistan's geography. The fact of the matter is that how India exploits this internal chaos to formulate its invasion plans against Pakistan. This internal chaos will be related to India's internal political changes, where hardliner Hindu Zionists like Narendra Modi is being brought to power in May, and then will India launch a high-intensity war against Pakistan, just as they did in 1971. Now, there are many questions that are arising here in the given scenario. Why Altaf Hussein demanded a new province and then warned that the demand of this new province can go to the demand of a separate country as well. And then later, why he denied his own statement and then went on to suggest the province must be split into two parts, rural Sindh 1 and urban Sindh 2. Is there a strong agenda of India and other external factors behind these demands or behind this political chaos in Pakistan? Today, we will discuss all the aspects of these demands and we'll try to find out who is controlling the politics scenario in Pakistan and wants the breakup of Pakistan, and what should be done to avoid such extremism in the country. As viewers, you know that I have Mr. Zaid Hamid in my show. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Zaid Hamid. As you can tell that we would like to know what's happening in Pakistan. We are listening to the voices of a separate province that could lead to a separate country, and then we are seeing the Indian phenomena, the Indian political landscape, where we are seeing the hardliner Narendra Modi rising, which can be the possible candidate for the Prime Minister in India. Before we get started, Mr. Zaid Hamid, with our discussion, we have prepared a research to update in both the aspects. Then we will start our discussion.
Altaf Hussein's demand of separate province for Urdu speakers. MQM chief has said that if you do not like Sindhi Urdu speakers, then make a separate province for them. He said that the thing can be more serious, and if not taken wisely, and a demand for a province could be turned in the demand of a country. Sindhi and Urdu speaking people want to live together and do not want any division, he added. Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto responded on a micro-blogging website saying, "We will die but not give away Sindh." According to the Senator Nasreen Jalil of MQM, people would come up with such demands if the government failed to address their problems. The fall of Dhaka and other numerous examples are there, and if the sense of deprivation is not taken seriously, people might raise voice for division of the country, she warned. In 1948, Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah declared in Dhaka that Urdu and only Urdu would be the common language of all Pakistan. In 1971, Pakistan has witnessed the conflict between Bengalis and Urdu-speaking Biharis. This language controversy eventually reached a point where East Pakistan has been separated from Pakistan. Now the Saraikistan movement also seeks to create a separate province for Saraiki people within Pakistan. The Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party BJP elected Narendra Modi as the chief of its election campaign for May-June 2014 general election. His rise is not a good omen for the Muslims of India in general and Pakistan in particular. Hindu hardliner Narendra Modi, the chief minister of Gujarat, is a polarizing figure, taunted by deadly anti-Muslim riots on his watch in 2002. During the riots of 2002, as many as 2,000 people were being killed, mainly Muslims. The cases and investigations against Modi are still pending with the Indian agencies and courts. With the controversial Hindu nationalist Narendra Modi, the BJP coming to power in India next year. In a country founded on the principles of secularism, there is growing fear that how Modi will behave with Muslims and other minorities in India.
Yes, Mr. Zaid Hamid, as you saw our report in the two main factors that we're trying to focus and then trying to figure out a connection between the two. In Sindh, we heard the voices of getting a separate province that could lead into the demand of getting a separate country as well. And then in India, if we see the general elections landscape, we are seeing Narendra Modi rising pretty majorly as the Prime Minister of that country. So how do you see these two aspects in the two countries?
You see, today we are going to discuss one of the most critical elements of the security, not just for Pakistan and India, but also for the entire Asian region or perhaps the globe itself. Whatever is happening in Pakistan today has a very direct connections with what the Hindu extremists, Hindu fascists and Hindu Zionists plan for Pakistan. Pakistan is undergoing a violent and bloody fourth generation war, a war in which the country is being imploded from within, a war which is designed to destroy the economy of the country, designed to polarize the society on ethnic, linguistic, political, religious, sectarian lines, and a war which is designed to wage urban war on the streets of Pakistan. From Karachi to the tribal areas in the north, every urban rural center of Pakistan is in a state of war right now, almost annihilating, almost threatening to annihilate the very state itself. And this fourth generation war is being waged in tandem with the American AFPAC military doctrine in the west, in Afghanistan, from where they are sending in the drones and the insurgents, backed by the Indian intelligence raw as well. And it is supposed to follow up by the Indian cold start military doctrine, in which the Indians plan a high intensity invasion of Pakistan once the collapse in Pakistan crosses a certain red line, a favorable line for the Indians when they feel the time has come for the Indian tanks to roll into Pakistan. And now what we feel is...
But then don't we see this weakness of, destroying Pakistan from within is getting much harder from our own politicians? Altaf Hussein's demand for a separate province
that can lead
to a separate country.
This democracy that is on Pakistan today, that you see they've imposed upon Pakistan today, we have always been calling it a CIA-sponsored democracy. Because all the political parties, major political parties which are now ruling Pakistan, have very strong Indian connections. Awami National Party in Frontier, they are known to be, from last 70 years, they are known to be a strong pro-India asset. Jamiyat Ulama Islam, the religious party, supposed to be, which is...
What about MQM's demand? You think that that's a pro-Indian party
I'm coming
as well?
to that. Jamiyat Ulama Islam itself has a very strong connections to Indians, has very strong connections to the Congress. Similarly, MQM. MQM is almost a separatist party. MQM, the chief of MQM, Altaf Hussain, who was just recently given this threat of breaking Pakistan, is on record going to India and addressing the Indian audience and Indian establishment, Indian intelligence agencies, and saying that making of Pakistan was the biggest blunder in the history of mankind. These are his words. And he actually said, demanded from the Indian intelligence, Indian raw, Indian establishment, that if we want to come back to the fold of India, you should accept us.
Division of the subcontinent was the greatest blunder in the history of mankind. It was not the division of the land, but the division of the blood. मैं इंडिया की गवर्नमेंट की पूरी टीम से, अपोजिशन से ये दरख्वास्त करूंगा कि जो पाकिस्तान की एस्टेब्लिशमेंट में आज के बाद अगर कोई ताना मुहाजिरों को, हिजरत करने वालों को ये दे, तो मैं इंडिया की हुकूमत और इंडिया के तमाम अपोजिशन से, तमाम ह्यूमन राइट्स पर बिलीव करने वालों से ये रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि खुदा के लिए आप उन्हें माफ करें और अपने आप बना दें.
Back, which is an open declaration of war against the state of Pakistan. He's a British citizen, he sits in London, and from there he instigates...
Mr. Zaid Hamid, like you said that Altaf Hussain said such serious threatening words, then why didn't our judiciary, why didn't our state took any kind of action against him?
You see, MQM is not a political party. They are a mafia run by a don from London. And the party itself is a one-man show. You eliminate Altaf Hussain, the party disintegrates. but as long as he lives, he has a chokehold on the city of Karachi through absolute, ruthless, brutal urban violence. And that's how mafias operate. You cannot speak against them. And that's why the politics. And once we air this program also, there's a very high possibility that the transmissions of Din News may be blocked in Karachi for a few days. See, because this is how MQM operates. ARY recently did a program against them, and ARY's transmissions were taken off air. But then, this is how MQM operates. All governments have tried to do operation against their terrorist activities, but their sponsors, they're based in London. The British government is doing money laundering investigations against the chief of Altaf Hussain because the sources of funding are unknown. Either they come from India, they come from kidnapping for ransom, or they come from hostage taking or whatever, but the sources of funding, millions and millions of dollars and pounds, which British government
found. But didn't they say that MQM and their leader Altaf Hussain has such a huge following that they are willing to donate him the funding, whatever is needed?
You see, this is what they say, but everybody knows the reality. Everybody knows the reality is MQM being a violent militant organization which earns through lots of illegal, lots of criminal activities. And the fact of the matter is, the point that you started off earlier with, is that whatever is happening in Pakistan, how is that connected to the political developments and changes which are coming in India in the next few months? And that is a critical question that we must answer today. You see, you also showed in your documentary that Narendra Modi is coming into power. And the world does not know the reality of Narendra Modi. And this is what we are going to explain today. But before that, let me go back to the world of 1930s, when Hitler had formed the Nazi Party and a fascist ideology was taking hold, taking power in Germany. At that time, very few people in the world could realize that once a madman like Hitler would take ultimate power in Germany, what would be the consequences for the world? Nobody could realize that at that moment. But once the Germany was taken over by a fascist Nazi ideology which believed in German supremacy, which believed in ethnic cleansing of Germany from all other races, which believed in global dominance and a greater Germany. All those ideologies, once that man got the power, we know what happened next. 440 million people were slaughtered all over the world. The entire world was set ablaze. World went into a world war. And if Hitler had nuclear weapons, the human race would have been annihilated. Almost at the same time, in India, another Nazi party was formed. People don't know this. In 1925, a Hindu Nazi party was formed called the RSS. It's an abbreviation for some Hindu words, Rashtriya Sevak Singh, something like that. But RSS again was an identical Nazi party to what the German Nazi party was. They believed in Hindu supremacy, they believed in greater India, they believed in ethnic cleansing of India from all other communities, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, minorities, even their own Hindus which are untouchables, the Dalits. And that Hindu fascist party slowly began to take hold in India between 1925 and 1947 when the partition of India took place. And very few people know this. Let us make it very clear today. Gandhi, who is a symbol of peace in the world, which is projected by the Indians as a symbol of peace-loving man and his ideology of ahimsa and all these love for humanity, Gandhi was assassinated not by a Muslim, but by a Hindu Nazi fascist from the RSS. Nathuram Godse, when he and his gang assassinated Gandhi because he was preaching tolerance. So they could not tolerate that. And Gandhi was revered and respected like a mini god in India by Hindus. He was assassinated by these RSS, and the man who assassinated was later on hanged. But his cremation was done, but his ashes were not thrown in Ganges River, as traditional Hindus do that. He actually left a will to his RSS political party saying that once you capture Pakistan, once you capture the river Indus, then throw my ashes in river Indus. And this is the desire of the RSS party, the greater India, the control from Burma to Afghanistan, to expand the Hindu dominance and eliminate.
Mr. Zaid Hamid, you would like to know that what's the connection of Nazi RSS and then with Pakistan. Right now we're going to go on a short break, and we'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back, viewers. We're talking today in our show about the connection of the political scenario in Pakistan and then how it can be a breeding ground for our enemies or our external factors that are watching over us to break us down from inside. Now, before break, we reached to the point where we were trying to put the puzzle pieces together, that how does the Nazi RSS and then what's the connection of these two with Pakistan as of today. Mr. Zaid Hamid, before going on the break, you were telling us about RSS and the Nazi, but how RSS is connected to Pakistan as of today's scenario?
You see, again, I was giving you the background of what RSS have actually done. They are so vicious and ruthless that they can even kill Gandhi for their own objectives. And if they can kill Gandhi, then you can imagine what they would do to Muslims or Sikhs or other communities.
But does RSS exist in today's world in India?
Yes, we are coming to that. RSS, after the creation of India, they started to spread themselves into every fiber of the Indian society, in the armed forces, in the education system, in the media, in politics. And today, the BJP, the political face, the political front, the political party that you see, Bharatiya Janata Party, is actually the political front of RSS. They are the Nazi party of India. And Narendra Modi is that monster which has risen from RSS.
The BJP and the RSS should reflect as to why organizations and individuals who are allegedly involved in acts of terror draw support, sustenance, sympathy and ideological indoctrination from the philosophy and the ideology of the RSS BJP combined. So therefore, rather than hitting out at everybody who comes within their range, I think they should seriously introspect within and they should try and see that such ideologies, such philosophies which give birth to such sectarianism need to be purged. I think this is a time for self-introspection for the BJP, and if it fails to carry out the self-introspection, it will have nobody else but itself to blame.
And now he has the same objectives, goals, desire of ethnic cleansing of India, of expanding Indian borders, of the supremacy of the Hindu race.
So BJP is an updated version of RSS in today's time.
RSS exists today as well as a militant organization, as a militant arm, but their political front is BJP. And even in Indian showbiz, many top personalities that you see, that you worship, the people worship as heroes of the Indian Bollywood media, are members of the RSS. And let me give you one name, Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan is a hardcore Hindu ideologue, a member of the RSS, a front man for BJP, and believes in the ideologue of Hindu Nazism or Hindu Zionism. And when these kind of people, and we have seen from previously, from the last few years, their penetration of these Hindu Nazis into Indian armed forces has been so intense that now Indian army is bringing BJP into power. And that is where the most deadly combination has been formed.
But then the rise of BJP in India, how can that affect Pakistan?
You see, this is not just Pakistan, it's going to affect the globe. The rise of Hitler in Germany, how did that affect Europe and the world? And remember, Hitler was also elected in an election. And BJP is now being elected in an election. But their ideology is inspired by Nazism. Their track record, Narendra Modi is refused visa in so many countries of the world even today, because he is known as the butcher of Gujarat, the man who takes pleasure in burning humans alive. This is the kind of monster we are talking about. The gangs and mobsters of RSS and BJP and Bajrang Dal, their late ideologue who has recently died is Bal Thackeray. And if you look at Bal Thackeray's pictures, you will realize that the man is a monster don who thrives on sucking human blood, literally. I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what they do.
But Mr. Zaid Hamid, Narendra Modi, Indians, they consider him as a modern Moses.
You see, this is the point, that Indian nation is controlled by their media. Indian nation is controlled by their weapons of perception management. And that's why I said, one of the top ideologues one of the top operators of RSS and BJP, you will find them in Indian Bollywood, worshipped as literal gods, like Amitabh Bachchan. I just gave you one example. And these people, when Amitabh Bachchan stands with Bal Thackeray and promises to promote his ideology through the perception management weapons of Indian media and film industry, then the Indian nation would be fooled. And that is, and the wise one amongst the Indians know this. Manmohan Singh, the Indian present Prime Minister, he's a Sikh, he's not a Hindu. And he knows that once the Hindu Zionists will come into power, what they will do to Sikhs also. Because it's the track record in India that almost 100,000 Sikhs have been butchered and killed by these RSS goons because they believe in ethnic cleansing of every other community.
Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, why did he say that the rise of Narendra Modi in India can be destructive for India itself?
You see, this is precisely what we are saying. The wise, sensible Indians know this, that the rise of a Nazi party in India is going to destroy the Indians also, because they're just like when the Hitler came into power, he started ethnic cleansing of all communities from Germany. The Jews were exterminated, Muslims were exterminated, all other people who were on non-Germanic races were exterminated. Similarly, this is exactly what the RSS is going to do. They have been doing it for the last 60 years, and now they have enough power. They have relegated Muslims, literally the 200 million Muslims in India, they have literally been relegated to the levels of untouchables. There are Christians, we have been communities which have been eliminated and decimated. The Sikhs have been eliminated. Their power has been broken in India, and they will be outcasted in India, just like untouchables, the Kashmiri Muslims. And that is why you find that in India there are 140 separatist insurgent movements working in India which are trying to break India, which are trying to break away from Indian Federation, because they realize that Indian power is now going into the hands of Hindu Zionists who will not tolerate any other community unless they revert back to Hinduism. And that's what Manmohan Singh has exactly warned his own nation. That whatever we are saying, Manmohan Singh has verified this, that if...
So even the Sikhs are also not being safe if Narendra Modi comes in power in India?
You see, this is...
That's what Manmohan Singh is trying to convey to his nation?
Exactly, because the ideology and the belief of RSS is that India is only for Hindu nation. And anyone who's not a Hindu will not have a place in India. They'll have to be subservient or eliminated. Rahul Gandhi, again, is half Christian. His mother is a Christian. And even he has warned his nation and his people that the greatest internal threat which India faces today is not from Muslims, is not from Mujahideen, is not from Lashkar-e-Taiba, is from Hindu saffron terrorists. And this is something that the world should very seriously consider, because for the first time now, these saffron terrorists will get control of the nuclear weapons of India.
But then Zaid Hamid, you already said yourself that Manmohan Singh is warning their own nation about Narendra Modi's getting into power and how can he be dangerous for its own nation. You're saying that we have another Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi also warned the nation. And then we're seeing the Aam Aadmi Party, that's another factor that has raised after the daily Legislative Assembly elections as an external factor. So, seeing all these factors being negative towards Narendra Modi, what are the chances of him becoming the Prime Minister of India?
See, the fact is that Narendra Modi is now, after 65 years of working in the Indian establishment, in the armed forces, the media, they have now very strong following. And mostly the the Indians do not know the fascist and the Nazi ideology or the beliefs of the RSS. They have really camouflaged them very well. But Narendra Modi is only one man who has